You're flying to Venus. I don't know who convinced you that this was a good idea, but it's too late to change anything now. Your ship is hurtling through space at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour, and ahead of you lies a planet that can melt lead, crush a tank, and destroy most spacecraft in less than 2 hours. And the most interesting part? For some reason, you expect to survive. Let's get one thing straight. Your chances of success are about 1 in a million. And I'm almost certain someone just made up that number so you wouldn't lose hope too soon. But I don't want to ruin your mood. Ahead of you lie acid clouds, temperatures hot enough to melt metal, and atmospheric pressure that would crush most man-made objects. And if by some miracle you manage to get through all that, Venus has a few more surprises in store for you. Venus is getting bigger and bigger in your porthole, bright, golden, and almost beautiful. If you knew nothing about it, you might think a paradise awaits you ahead. Fortunately, the details are about to begin. From a distance, Venus really does seem surprisingly peaceful. It's no wonder that people have been fascinated by it for millennia. It's brighter than any other planet in our sky, and if you look only at its glowing clouds, it's easy to believe that beneath them lie oceans, forests, or at least something that isn't trying to kill you. But Venus really loves to make a good first impression. In reality, beneath those beautiful clouds lies one of the most hostile worlds in the entire solar system. A world where the temperature barely changes day or night, where atmospheric pressure is strong enough to crush most Earth-made technology, and where the clouds are made of sulfuric acid. And if that sounds terrible right now, wait a few minutes. Because while you were gazing at Venus through the porthole, the ship has already begun its descent. And now there's no turning back. Not that it was a good idea to begin with. At first, everything seems surprisingly calm, but it doesn't last long. The hull starts to shake, and with every passing minute, the shaking grows stronger. Soon the stars disappear beyond the porthole, then the sun, and a few minutes later you're surrounded only by thick yellow clouds. Welcome to Venus's atmosphere. If you've suddenly started to worry, don't. The situation is much worse than you think. Ahead of you lie clouds of sulfuric acid. Yes, real acid. Apparently, temperatures capable of melting metal weren't enough for Venus. For most modern spacecraft, this journey would end right about here. Fortunately, your ship is built with future technologies. Otherwise, this would be the shortest video on this channel. The clouds are getting thicker and thicker, visibility is almost gone, and the ship continues to descend lower and lower. You can no longer see space, the sun, or the surface below you, just an endless yellow haze. And just when it starts to seem like things can't get any worse, the outlines of the surface appear beneath the clouds for the first time. Unfortunately for you, this means that your real encounter with Venus is just beginning. The outlines of the surface become increasingly clear, and in a few minutes the spacecraft touches down. Congratulations! You have just reached a place where most modern technology would last less time than a YouTube ad. It's about 465 degrees Celsius outside. That's enough to melt lead. The atmospheric pressure is 92 times greater than on Earth. In short, Venus took the bottom of the ocean, the temperature of an oven, and decided to combine them in one place. The hatch slowly opens. For an ordinary person, this would be a very bad moment. Fortunately, your spacesuit was designed specifically for such crazy expeditions. The cooling systems are running at full capacity, the pressure protection is holding up, and against all common sense, you take your first step onto the surface of Venus. And you know what's the strangest part? You're still alive. Apparently, Venus is a little surprised too, because the most dangerous planet in the solar system just let you step outside. Though, don't mistake this for hospitality, she just isn't done with you yet. So, you're standing on Venus, and to be honest, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. The sky above you has a strange yellow-orange hue, the sun barely breaks through the thick atmosphere, and the horizon is lost in a hot haze. Huge plains of solidified lava stretch out all around, and in the distance, volcanoes rise. Venus has more of them than any other planet in the solar system. And you know what's the strangest part? After all the trouble getting here, Venus finally lets you look around. It's as if it's showing off its collection of ways to destroy all life. And if you start to think this place looks fairly stable, don't forget, you're standing on a planet that may still be volcanically active. Billions of years ago, it might have been much more like Earth. Some scientists even suggest that there could have been oceans here. But then the planet fell into a trap set by its own atmosphere. The hotter it got, the more heat was trapped. And the more heat was trapped, the hotter it got. Not the most brilliant plan in the long run. Eventually the oceans vanished, temperatures spiraled out of control, and Venus became the world you see today. And here you are, standing on Venus, a planet that tried to stop you with acid clouds, extreme pressure, and temperatures that would render most Earth-based technologies would fail almost immediately. And despite all that, you're still alive. Admittedly, only because your ship and spacesuit probably cost more than the economies of several planets. So if you ever feel like coming back here again, I have some great news for you. The universe is full of other planets that are also ready to ruin your vacation. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to the channel. There are still many planets ahead that will gladly try to kill you.